All right, Coach. 1-3 weekend this week, but obviously was the first out-of-state trip, and the kind of level of competition kind of stepped up a little bit. What are your overall thoughts about the tournament and the team kind of moving forward to the final kind of stretch of the season?
For the most part, 3 of the matches were pretty competitive. Tulane, Utah, both receiving votes in the top 20. Tulane, we played good against Tulane. We had a couple chances to maybe take a set off Tulane in a couple of the pairs. Utah was, if you see the scores, were a lot tighter than a lot of people. They were missing one of their best players, but we played really well against them. And in Spring Hill, the first day, we did what we needed to win that 4-1. The second day against Spring Hill, I don't think we showed up. The last game of the day, I don't know what was up. We didn't play well as a team. From top to bottom, we had some good performances. The ones lost 28-26 or whatever it was in the first set, but overall, I didn't think we competed as hard against Spring Hill the second day.
Now, obviously, looking forward ahead to this week, you are heading now out west to California. I believe one of the first times you guys have actually traveled that far out west. Talk to me a little bit maybe about some of the challenges that you guys will face out west. I know couple of schools over there really, really good, especially Concordia, the host school. But just overall, like traveling that far away from home, kind of what challenge that presents for a team?
Yeah, one thing I think that helps us there too is the time change for us when we're playing at 8 in the morning. It's 10 o'clock here, so I don't see that being too big of a problem. Jet lag maybe. We do leave early enough in the morning that we get there, maybe we get a good night's rest that first day, and be able to go in and play good. Concordia is legit. They are, right now, I would say they're probably the best Division II school right now in the country. They're receiving votes in the top 20. Deservingly so. They beat some pretty big schools. Cal State Northridge, Division I, pretty good. They've had some games where you look at the scores and you're like, how did that happen? And then you look at another score and it goes, how'd they beat them? And you're like, overall, they're pretty solid. The other two, the Masters and Vanguard. Vanguard is a new D2 school this year. They went from NAI to D2. They've been good in the past. They've played a pretty tough schedule too, so don't know what we're getting in with them. So again, we're just going to have to go and see what happens. The Masters, NAI school, very well coached. I believe their coach is an Olympian. And so they're very well coached. They know what they're doing. Hopefully we're a little bit better physically than a couple of those teams. I just want to see our girls go out there and compete. And especially against Concordia, we need to see where we're at in Division II. And I think that'll be a very good test.
And you mentioned kind of see where you're at in Division II, maybe looking a little bit ahead. You guys have a really jam-packed schedule, outside of a tournament. This upcoming tournament, you got really one Division I foe, but you're looking ahead. It's jam-packed full of Division I programs. The Corpus Christi tournament coming up. You got A&M Corpus Christi, Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin going to be there. And then looking ahead at the UCA invitation, I believe, Central Arkansas. There's a Tennessee school.
UT Martin.
UT Martin, thank you very much. Like, how does playing those kinds of schools in upper echelon, Division II programs like Concordia kind of really prepare you for what the ultimate goal is, which is the small college championship?
You hope it. You hope it that they go in there and compete and do well against teams like that. Even if maybe we're not on the winning side of that, if it's a 3-2 match, maybe it's a 4-1, but 2 or 3 of the other games were close where we maybe got them into a third. I think that just builds confidence, moving forward to when we do get to that small college national championship where we go there with knowing that we're capable of making a big run into the championship game. And, in the past, we've played some schools like LSU and TCU who were number 1, number 3 in the country at the time when we played them. And it's like, just compete with them. They're good, and they're probably, in our minds, they're probably going to beat you, but you got to go out there and try to compete as hard as you can. And if you do well against them, against other teams, you should have some confidence going into those, knowing, hey, I can beat this team if I competed with these teams pretty well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Crawfish, good.